Hey, how's it going? My name is Wes. Welcome back to lesson number 28. In today's lesson, we have another yellow lesson, which means that we will have a look at another verb. And the verb that we will learn today is the verb poder. And the verb poder in English means to be able to or can. So as always, we will look at the different conjugations of the verb poder. And if you want to, you can stop the video here and copy this table so that you can fill it in yourself as well. Alright, so let's start with the first conjugation, which is the I form. So I am able to or I can in Spanish is
Yo puedo. Yo puedo.
I am able to, I can.
Yo puedo.
So now we can add this to our list. Alright, so as always, we are going to go over some example sentences. So for I can or I am able to, we have
Yo hacerlo. Yo hacerlo.
I can do it or I am able to do it, which of course is
Yo puedo hacerlo. Yo puedo hacerlo.
Alright, then let's look at the second form, which is the you form, informal, which is tú puedes.
Tú puedes.
You are able to or you can.
Tú puedes.
And if I'm going too fast, as always, you can simply pause the video, take your notes, and then resume the video once you're ready. Alright, so for this example, let's turn it into a question. So,
Tú cambiar. Tú cambiar.
are you able to change? So you are able to change, but because we are putting it in between these two question marks, we are turning it into a question. So are you able to or can you change? Cambiar is to change. So tú puedes cambiar. Tú puedes cambiar.
Tú puedes cambiar. Tú puedes cambiar.
Are you able to change? So literally translated, you say you are able to or you can change. But now we're adding the question marks. So in English, we have to flip the structure of the sentence. So you are able to change becomes are you able to change or can you change? So tú puedes cambiar. Tú puedes. Alright, so then the next form is he, she, or you formal, which is él, ella, usted puede.
Él puede. Ella puede. Usted puede.
He is able to or can. She is able to or can. Or you are able to or can. So as an example, he can be friendly or he is able to be friendly.
Él ser amable. Él ser amable.
And as we saw before, we already saw the verb ser before, which meant to be in English. We saw that we had two different verbs, ser and estar. And here we are using ser because amable, to be friendly, is a characteristic. So we use the verb ser. And of course this becomes él puede ser amable. He can be friendly. Él puede ser amable.
Él puede ser amable. Él puede ser amable.
Or
Ella puede ser simpática. Ella puede ser simpática.
simpático is another word that we can use to say friendly. So ella puede ser amable or ella puede ser simpática with the a at the end because we're talking about ella. Or if you want to turn it into a sentence, you could say
¿Usted puede ser simpático? ¿Usted puede ser simpático?
puede ser simpático, can you be friendly? And this verb poder is actually very often being used in combination with other verbs. So for example, here we see that we have puede and then we have ser. So poder and ser next to each other. And you will see that verbs can be stacked next to each other to help each other out. And when this happens, then the verb that helps the other verb out, so in this example, poder helps out the verb ser, then we call this verb an auxiliary verb, which is also known as a helper verb, so a verb that helps another verb. Now, more about this later. Just for now, know that there's something called an auxiliary verb, and that we will get to that later. Alright, so then for the conjugation of nosotros or nosotras, we have podemos, which means we are able to or we can.
Nosotros podemos. Nosotras podemos.
So if you want to say we can help or we are able to help, we would say
Nosotros ayudar. Nosotros, ayudar. Nosotros podemos ayudar. Nosotros podemos ayudar.
We can help. Or if we want to say we, but we're talking about a feminine we, and we actually want to say we cannot help, or we are not able to help, then we say
Nosotras no podemos ayudar. Nosotras no podemos ayudar.
so we not are able to help, or we not can help. Hey, what's up? It's Wes from the future. I'm sorry to interrupt this video. I just wanted to let you know that I also have a Patreon where you can get early access to the next video lessons. All you have to do is to click on the link in the description, which will take you to my Patreon page where you can sign up for early access to the next lessons. Because here on YouTube, I only upload one new video every week. So if you don't want to wait for a new lesson to appear and you already want to watch all of the new lessons, then you can do so by going to my Patreon. Alright, that's it for this short interruption. I'm sorry. Let's get back to the video. Alright, so let's then move on to you are able to or you can.
Vosotros podéis. Vosotras podéis.
And then for our example sentence,
Vosotros avanzar. Vosotros avanzar.
and as you can see, sometimes just by using logical thinking, you can already guess a lot of words in Spanish. So avanzar, if you look at that word, then it's pretty easy to guess that probably avanzar in English is to advance, because the two words look very much alike. So if you want to say you can advance or you are able to advance, you can say Vosotros podéis avanzar.
Vosotros podéis avanzar. Vosotros podéis avanzar.
And avanzar means to advance, but it can also mean something like to move on or to move ahead. So you could also say you can move ahead.
Vosotras podéis avanzar. Vosotras podéis avanzar.
Alright, then the next conjugation is ustedes. Now ustedes, as we learned before, in Spain is used when we are talking to a formal group of people. And in Latin America, it's also used informally. So you guys or you girls, for example. Alright, so the conjugation for ustedes is pueden. Ustedes pueden, which means you are able to or you can.
Ustedes pueden. Ustedes pueden.
Alright, so then our example sentence, you are able to grow or you can grow.
Ustedes crecer. Ustedes crecer.
This, of course, becomes
Ustedes pueden crecer. Ustedes pueden crecer.
you are able to grow or you can grow. Ustedes pueden crecer. Now, crecer means to grow, but not in a literal or like physical way, but more in like a sense of growing emotionally or maturing. So in English, you have the word grow, which can mean multiple things. It can mean growing as in like a tree that grows, but also your mind or yourself, like if you're growing yourself. In Spanish, you have two different verbs for this. So that's something maybe important to understand as well, that sometimes in Spanish there is a different way or feeling associated to a verb than that same verb has in English. All right, then our last conjugation, ellos or ellas, which means they. The conjugation for ellos or ellas is pueden.
Ellos pueden. Ellas pueden.
They are able to or they can. And then for our example sentence, we have they can collaborate.
Ellos colaborar. Ellos colaborar.
So this becomes ellos pueden colaborar. They can collaborate or they are able to collaborate. Or ellas pueden colaborar, which also means they can collaborate or they are able to collaborate. But now we are talking about a group of all female individuals.
Ellos pueden colaborar. Ellas pueden colaborar.
Alright, so that's the verb of this lesson, the verb poder, which means to be able to or to can. And as I said before, the verb poder is very often used in combination with other verbs. So usually in front of another verb. Alright, so then before we end this lesson, of course, as always, I have some practice sentences. So if you want to practice, make sure to pause the video right now and resume once you're ready. All right, and here are the answers. All right, and that's it for the 28th lesson already, the verb poder, to be able to or to can. I hope that you got something out of this lesson. Please, before you move on to the other lessons, I recommend learning this verb by heart so that you can start using it when you speak or write in Spanish. All right, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I hope to see you in the next one. Adios.